Welcome to today's History Academy. In the year 1612, Russia was going through a very dark and dangerous time. This period is known as the Time of Troubles. There was no strong government, and the country was in complete chaos. People suffered badly because of war, famine, and disease. Food was very hard to find. Sickness spread everywhere, and many people died. Historians believe that almost one-third of the population perished during this time. To make things worse, foreign armies invaded Russia. Polish and Lithuanian troops occupied important Russian cities, such as Moscow, Smolensk, and Novgorod. Russia seemed close to collapse. But the Russian people did not give up. Two leaders stepped forward. Prince Dmitry Pozharsky, a nobleman, and Kuzma Minin, a merchant. They organized the People's Army, also called a militia. Ordinary citizens joined them to fight for their country. In 1612, this militia marched to Moscow and forced the Polish soldiers to leave the city. This victory became a symbol of national unity. Because of this, every year on November 4th, Russia celebrates National Unity Day. This holiday has been officially observed since 2005. A new czar and a new beginning. After the fighting ended, Russian leaders met in an assembly called the Zemsky Sobor. They understood that Russia needed a new ruler to bring stability and peace. In 1613, they elected a 16-year-old nobleman named Mikhail Romanov as the new czar. This decision changed Russian history forever. The Romanov dynasty would rule Russia for more than 300 years. Tsar Mikhail focused on rebuilding the country. He even gave up some territory in exchange for peace. This helped Russia recover and gave the nation time to breathe and grow stronger. Tsar Alexei and Life of the Peasants. After Mikhail, his son Tsar Alexei became ruler. Alexei introduced a new legal code called the Soborno-Ulazanai. This law had a huge impact on Russian society. It turned about 80% of population, peasants, into serfs. Serfs were basically slaves. They could not leave their land, choose their jobs, or change their masters. Their children were also born as serfs. This system controlled Russian rural life for the next 200 years. Religious conflict and expansion. During this time, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Nikon, introduced religious reforms. These changes caused a split in the church between reformers and traditional believers, known as the Old Believers. This religious division still exists today. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Cossacks were rebelling against the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. They asked Tsar Alexei for protection and accepted him as their ruler. In return, Russia gave them military support. This led to a 13-year war between Russia and Poland-Lithuania. Russia won the war and regained Smolensk and took control of eastern Ukraine. Rebellion and reform. Not all Russians were happy. A large rebellion broke out in southern Russia, led by a Cossack named Stenka Razin. The revolt caused chaos, but it was eventually defeated. Razin was captured, taken to Moscow, and executed brutally. Later, Tsar Fyodor III, although weak in health, was very intelligent. He introduced important reforms. He ended the system that gave government jobs based only on noble family background and instead promoted merit. He even ordered the symbolic burning of old ranking books. Sadly, Fyodor died very young at just 19 years old. Sophia and the rise of Peter the Great. After Fyodor's death, his sister Sophia became regent, ruling on behalf of her younger brothers, Ivan V and Peter I. During her rule, Russia signed a treaty of eternal peace with Poland-Lithuania and joined a European alliance against the Ottoman Empire. Russia also signed its first treaty with China, setting a clear border between the two countries. At the age of 17, Peter I took full power and removed Sophia. Peter would later become known as Peter the Great. He was the first Russian ruler to travel extensively in Europe. During his grand embassy, he studied science, shipbuilding, and modern technology. He wanted to make Russia stronger and more modern. Peter successfully ended Russia's war against the Ottoman Empire with the Treaty of Constantinople. Russia gained the important port city of Azov, giving it better access to the sea. With the capture of Azov, Russia finally gained a foothold on the Black Sea. This was very important because it allowed Russia to trade more easily and connect with the outside world. Peter I, later known as Peter the Great, wanted to completely change Russia. His goal was to turn it into a modern European-style state. He believed Russia was too old-fashioned and needed reform in every area of life. Peter forced Russian nobles to dress like Europeans and behave in European ways. He hated long beards, which were traditional in Russia. Any noble who refused to shave had to pay a special beard tax. This showed Peter's determination to break old traditions. Peter also made huge changes to the country. He built the first Russian navy. He reformed the army. He reorganized the government. He promoted industry, trade, science, and education. Russia was becoming stronger and more modern. The Great Northern War. One of the most important events of Peter's reign was the Great Northern War. Russia joined forces with Poland, Lithuania, and Denmark to challenge Sweden, which was the most powerful country in the Baltic region at the time. At first, the war went very badly for Russia. The Swedish king, Charles XII, defeated the Russian army in a disastrous battle at Narva. It was a humiliating loss. But Peter did not give up. He rebuilt and trained his army, and later Russia won a second battle at Narva. Finally, Peter completely destroyed Charles XII's army at the Battle of Poltava. This victory changed everything. St. Petersburg, a new capital. During the war, Peter ordered the construction of a new capital city, St. Petersburg, on the Baltic coast. The city was built on swampy marshland, which made construction extremely difficult. Thousands of serfs were forced to work, and many of them died from disease, cold, and exhaustion. Despite the terrible human cost, the city was completed. St. Petersburg became Russia's window to Europe, and later its second largest city. Russia becomes a great power. The Great Northern War ended with the Treaty of Nystad. Russia gained large territories from Sweden and became the dominant power in the Baltic Sea region. For years before his death, Peter was officially given the titles Peter the Great, Father of the Fatherland, Emperor of all the Russias. Russia was now a European empire. After Peter the Great, after Peter's death, his wife Catherine I became ruler. She was followed by his grandson Peter II, who sadly died of smallpox at only 14 years old. Next came Empress Anna Ivanovna, the daughter of Peter the Great's half-brother Ivan V. She was known for her luxurious lifestyle and for the strong influence of her German lover, Ernst Byron. During Anna's reign, a Danish explorer named Vitus Bering, working for Russia, led major expeditions. He explored and mapped the coast of Alaska, discovered the Aleutian Islands, gave his name to the Bering Sea, which separates Russia and North America. Elizabeth and the 7 Years' War. After Anna's death, her infant grandnephew Ivan VI became emperor. However, he was quickly overthrown by Elizabeth, the daughter of Peter the Great. Ivan VI spent his entire life in prison. At the age of 23, he was murdered by guards during a failed rescue attempt. Elizabeth became empress and was famous for her vanity, love of luxury, and many young lovers. However, she was also a strong and capable ruler. In alliance with France and Austria, Elizabeth led Russia into the 7 Years' War against Frederick the Great of Prussia. The Russian army defeated Frederick badly at the Battle of Kinnersdorf, but Russia failed to fully take advantage of this victory. During her reign, the magnificent Winter Palace in St. Petersburg was completed at enormous cost. It remained the official royal residence until the Russian Revolution of 1917. Peter III and the rise of Catherine. After Elizabeth's death, Peter III became emperor. He was the grandson of Peter the Great through his daughter Anna Petrovna, who died after childbirth. Peter III had been raised in Denmark, spoke very little Russian, and admired Frederick the Great, Russia's enemy. Shockingly, he changed sides in the 7 Years' War, saving Prussia from defeat. This decision made him deeply unpopular with the Russian army and nobility. His wife, Catherine, also despised him. Together with army officers, Catherine overthrew Peter III, ending his short and unpopular reign.